Yo, 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 what's going on, you guys? It's your boy 360 Stacks in this thing, baby, representing TKOG. Thank you, Lord Jesus. I'm coming at you guys with pure SHADDOLLs. It's been a while because I've been rocking a different variant, but I feel like you guys definitely deserve this. You've been very patient with me. You guys let me go on a binge with my new list. You guys are like, oh, yeah, we know it. Yeah, you like this list. Can we get some pure SHADDOLLs now? And the wait is worth it. I've got a really crazy build for you guys. Like, oh man, this build is wild. There's just so much thought put into this. And let's get into it, because honestly, there's a lot to talk about and there's a lot to digest with this build. And you guys know I'm a very in-depth content creator, and also this is one of my favorite decks. So I'm obviously going to put my finishing touch on it. This is just that kind of deck. It's just so good. If you haven't done so already, especially when it comes to decks that you like that I make, if I get my hands on it, more than likely I'll turn it into something that you either A, haven't seen, or B, something that you really were looking for and couldn't find. So you would not regret subscribing to this channel. Like, it's just, there's just so many benefits and good things that come out of it. It helps me and it helps you. And if you want to support me, I am definitely looking forward to making this a full-time job and making a career out of this. I know I can and I will, and you guys can help me by doing that. Just join the Discord. That's a free way to support me. And if you want to, I have Team Ginza Games t-shirts. I have them in the color black. I wear them to my locals to represent myself, market my brand. And also, you can become a member of my Patreon. That is one of the easiest ways to help me out. Even if you just sign up for the bare minimum, I have a $3, $10, and $15 subscription. Even if you just gave $3 a month, dude, I'm telling you, that little bit goes a long way, because a lot of a little still adds up, and it would be a blessing, because at the end of the day, what I want to do is I want to be able to work for myself, and this is going to be like my own business, that I start. And I figured, dude, like, this is a win-win. This is exactly what I love. I want to get paid to do what I love and make it, it might as well be more worth it, because when I put more time into it, I'll be able to do it knowing that I don't have to worry about this bill, that bill, going to work, and not giving as much as my all that I want to, because I will obviously be making a career out of this. So help me, you guys, to get to that goal. I would greatly appreciate it. But with all of that out of the way, let's get into this list. You guys know I love this deck. Alright, so pure SHADDOLLs. First and foremost, the only hand traps that I play are light attributes. You guys should know. I know it's been a while since you guys have seen pure SHADDOLLs for me, but you guys should know that I only play light attribute hand traps. So I'm playing 3 Nibiru and 3 Gamma. Blowouts and Gamma protects so many cards. Like, there's so many avenues to get ashed. This list can get drolled now. Normally, I really can't, because it's like, even though it can get drolled, it doesn't hurt. It's just the fact that the list can get drolled, that you have more avenues for Gamma to be live. And yeah, normally you would make Omega, but like, I tend to link summon with my Gammas, and I also tend to fusion summon with my Gammas. So yeah. The only other thing that I would think about that'd be gratifying is to Gamma your opponent and then summon the Chaos Roller, which is something else that I haven't tested enough with for me to just throw it in my list. Like, if I threw it in my extra deck, it would obviously make the list look more spicy, but I'm not fond of putting cards in that I haven't tested and giving you a list that's not fine-tuned. Like, I'm not just going to throw something in your face and say, yeah, here's the list. Like, I'd rather show you something that I know works through experience. Because I feel personally, I ain't gonna lie, this probably be my only little tangent that I go off on before I get more into the list, is a lot of content creators do not either play Yu-Gi-Oh! Or they're not good at the game, and it's not throwing shade, it's just true. Or they also do not test the list that they show you. It's super obvious when you see somebody's list and you know, bro, you do not even play this. You're literally just making this for views, and it's actually really sad. So you guys are not going to get that from me. You guys know that when I show you something, it's tried and true, and I speak from experience whenever I talk. That's why you can take my opinion at face value, because it's speaking from experience as opposed to speculation and more theory than actual proof. So anyways, now we're going to get into the playmakers. So Super Poly is a defensive card, so that's why it's up here in this top row. So you have 10 defensive cards, but it's also a playmaker, and it kills Herald. So now we're back on Fight for Patchwork. So this is a starter card, because in pure SHADDOLLs, unless you're playing trap SHADDOLLs, which you can play, there's nothing wrong with that. This is my preference. Let me live my life, bruh. This is my preference. If you're playing my variant, you like to fusion summon. And you like to do it as often as you want to be like this. You want to fusion summon whenever you want to. You never want to do it when you get the chance. It's like you want to be able to do it whenever you feel like it. So my list is consistent with that. I have enough fodder to do it. So Patchwork is a starter. Fool's Burial Goods. Let's talk a little bit about this. You guys are going to understand what makes this card so powerful. So Fool's Burial Goods has a lot of utility. So what it can do, I'll talk about a few snappy combos if you guys need this refresher. For people that have been following my channel for a while, you guys know this is my spice. So Patchwork, this is my spice. Fool's Burial Goods, my spice. The Lunalight cards, my spice. I'm not even capping when I tell you I was the first dude, like the structure deck had just came out. I was the first dude to even think of playing these, and everybody after that started doing it because it works. So don't knock it till you try it. The fact that so many people started doing it, that shows you that it works. If it didn't work, people wouldn't be playing it. They'd be like, this is trash, I'm moving on to the next. So this is what Fool's Burial Goods does. It's either a light attribute, it also can be a fusion spell if you need it to be, and also, there's a cool little combo I'll show you guys right now. With Mathman, if you open Mathman with Fool's Burial Goods, you can use Mathman to send Windy, summon any Shaddol you want, use Fool's Burial Goods to dump Resh, use Resh to flip that Shaddol that you summon off of Mathman, get its effect. Whether you want to draw 2, special summon the Windy that you banished off the Resh to get a snappy combo, and go into a Shaddol Link and then make a Shikinaga for your troubles. If you wanted to summon Hedgehog and search a Shaddol spell or trap, which is what I would do. Honestly, what I would do with this combo is, this is what I would do. I would go Mathman, dump Windy. So this is a cool way for you to combo if you don't even have a fusion spell. Mathman, dump Windy, summon Hedgehog. Thank you, Lord Jesus. Fool's Burial Goods for Resh. Resh banish Windy, flip Hedgehog, search for a copy of Schism, and then link the Mathman and the Hedgehog off into like whatever you want. What I would do is I would summon Cross Sheep. You guys know, like you should know if you follow me long enough, when I play pure Shaddolls, I go for the advantage generation loop. Like I just want to keep stability at all times. So when I make Cross Sheep, this thing stays on the field for a long time. I like leaving my Cross Sheep on the field and fusion summoning and generating advantage off of its effect as many times as possible. So off of just Mathman and Goods, you'll get Cross Sheep and Shaddol Schism. When you fusion summon with Schism, you can obviously, like trigger the Cross Sheep and go on from there. So it's a cool combo. There's so much utility that Goods offers because you can summon any Shaddol you want from your deck and activate its effect the same turn it was summoned. So you guys can see where you could go from there. And if you need it to be a fusion spell, you'll Fool's Burial Goods Lunalight Perfume, banish it. You'll search for Lunalight Black Sheep, grab yourself a copy of Polymerization. If you don't need a fusion spell and you want to make a construct, you'll dump Perfume, banish it, and grab yourself a copy of Lunalight Wolf. I used to play Tiger till it got banned, literally replaced it because all it needed to be was a light. Didn't matter its effect or its name, it just had to be a light that you could search off Perfume. Next up, we play Tinky. Tinky, so you guys are going to see, when I build my decks, I keep in the mindset of, I want my cards to be multi-purpose. I need them to have the level of utility that can make them fit in multiple categories and niches when I need them to. I can't just play a card that only does one thing. So if that one thing is not what I need, then it's a dead draw. You know what I mean? So that's just me. And the way I play my Shaddolls, obviously, I'm very big on the longevity. I'm thinking about my turn, after this turn, and the next turn, and my opponent's turn. I'm always planning ahead like a little general with an army. I have a strategy and a game plan and all that. Like, I'm prepared for battle, basically. And this deck is really powerful. It's a very skillful deck. If you guys ask me, I'm probably the biggest Shaddol advocate you'll ever meet. Like, I've been saying this deck is crazy for Lord knows how long, and I'm not saying it because I want people to play the deck, because honestly, I'd rather it be an underdog, because I don't like, A, Shaddol mirror matches, and B, I don't like bandwagon players touching this deck, because they oftentimes, it leads to something potentially getting banned, and I don't want anything to be touched on Shaddolls anymore. But I will say this deck has the potential to beat anything. Like, you guys know that this is an undeniable fact about me. I believe Shaddolls can do everything and anything. They have the best toolbox, arguably, in the game. So much utility, so much recovery, recursion, search power, draw power, the ability to swarm the field, the ability to disrupt the opponent with floodgates and negations. So much just technical play involved with this deck that if you are not a good player, you're going to think this deck sucks, and you're not even going to realize, like, no cap, bro, it's really you. Like, the deck is not bad at all. Like, this deck's amazing. So I really just, I love this deck. You guys already know. So Tinky is another multi-purpose card. So what Tinky can do for you is, let's say you need a poly. you'll Tinky for that Lunarlight Black Sheep, get yourself a copy of Poly. Let's say you didn't need the Poly. This is where Tiger would be useful. So if Tiger was not banned, I wouldn't have to play this extra slot, but it helps too for multiple reasons. So I play Felice. So Felice is a light beast warrior. So if you need a light fodder, because Construct's the best card in the extra deck, no cap, you can Tinky for the Felice. So the only thing that you need when you draw these cards a lot of times is a SHADDOLL monster. You know, but you don't have a problem with that because you have that in abundance, and rightfully so, because a hand full of fusion spells and SHADDOLLs is the best hand you could draw in my list. If you're playing trap SHADDOLLs, bruh, set your 5 and pass. I'm not hating on you. Play however you want to play. As long as you enjoy it, who cares what the haters say, bro? That's just my opinion. So Tinky can get you a light attribute or a fusion spell, just like Foolish Burial Goods can. So utility there. And the other thing by playing Felice is now Mathematician can dump Felice, pop something that I needed to be popped, and potentially mill some SHADDOLL. So there's some good RNG potential pluses that you can get, and Spark removal. So Mathman absolutely puts so much pressure onto the field. Other honorable mentions for normal summons that you could play, I could even play them if I just cut some cards on my list, are going to be one of my favorites, Geldogra. Geldogra can, if you play a small Dogmatica package, it wouldn't be pure SHADDOLLs, and I just wanted to play pure SHADDOLLs just for the viewer's sake, just so that you guys can see a pure SHADDOLL list. If I felt like if I even put anything invoked or Dogmatica in my list, it'd be blasphemy, and you guys would just click the video and probably unsubscribe and be like, bro, I warned you, like I knew it, you're no longer a SHADDOLL player. But so if you're playing a small Dogmatica package, Geldogra can send Titanic Lad and Opcalone, so it's like a Nadir Servant with a cost. Another very good normal summon, but again, it wouldn't be pure SHADDOLLs. It's pure SHADDOLLs because this is what you guys asked for, and I have a really nasty pure SHADDOLL list. In fact, you guys know this, I was playing pure SHADDOLLs for like ever until I actually was able to afford the invoked and Dogmatica cards. This is what I played, so you guys know this worked because I was just cutting up, just clapping cheeks, topping with this deck with pure SHADDOLLs. Another honorable mention for normal summons goes to Rilliona and Majestus Invocation, because if you open Riona plus a SHADDOLL, that is full combo, that is your construct. Now in this list, if you open Mathematician plus a fusion summon, very similar to Riona plus a SHADDOLL, that is full combo because Mathman can search a SHADDOLL by dumping Hedgehog, and he can be linked off into this card. So very similar to her, except the difference is you need a fusion spell. I feel like you have an equivalent abundance of fusion spells and SHADDOLL, so it works out. But yeah, you guys see what Tinky does. Next up, we're playing obviously 3 copies of SHADDOLL Fusion. This card is the most powerful spell in the deck in the terms of ceiling and potential for, you know, just plus worthy plays and also breaking boards, but the most versatile and flexible, and honestly the actual best spell is always going to be L. And I tell you guys, and y'all just don't listen to me. Y'all just don't listen. People just either play one or none of this card and they maximize on this. Y'all just don't care about nothing I say. Y'all just don't even care, bro. Like, y'all ask for advice and don't even take it. Like, El SHADDOLL Fusion is absolutely the best. It literally can play around Fleur-de-Lis, Effect Veiler, Imperm, Droplets. The card plays around Droll because you can fusion summon in your draw phase. The card plays around Anti-Spell, plays around different dimension grounds. I mean, dude, can I go on? It plays around Artifact Sanctum. Dude, the card is just insane. The amount of things you can play around. Back when people were playing that Retaliating Sea or whatever that makes you banish all your cards, when they would activate that, I would chain El SHADDOLL Fusion to its activation just to get some dolls engraved. This card was just, it's just... And the other thing is this plays around Ghost Spell, Twin Twisters, Cosmic Cyclone. Ghost Spell, Twin Twisters, and Cosmic Cyclone. Because people normally try to stop your Schism, and what they don't realize is, like, I'm not a dumb SHADDOLL player. I'm not an average SHADDOLL player either. I've never lost a SHADDOLL mirror match in my life. I go for L post-sighting just to play safe. I've even got, believe it or not, I've actually got attacked for that. I had a SHADDOLL matchup that I had that got posted on DB Grinder's channel. And what happened was, because I did not search Schism, they said I was a terrible SHADDOLL player, bro. They said so many bad things about me. And what they didn't realize was I'm a technical kind of player. So I play around what isn't there as if it is there. Because I don't know what's in my opponent's hand and I don't know what they drew. they're just like, Schism's the better card. Why would you go around? But like, you don't understand, like, El Shaddol cannot lose to anything your opponent would side. Schism can lose to many things. Very many. Even Red Reboot randomly. This thing loses to freaking Pankratops. There's so many things. Schism has more longevity, and it's a lot more powerful in the terms of progressing your game state. But it's so much more vulnerable to like everything. So again, I just reinforced my validation on why I think El Shaddol Fusion is superior. And if you're a smart Shaddol player, you're going to grab both if you can. That's why I like playing Core, because I'll send Core at L and then use Construct to add the Schism. That also helps to play around Gamma a lot better at Ghost Bell and DD Crow. And it gives you double window. You have double window, you're not losing the Dark Ruler anymore. So yeah. And then we have Poly. The Poly, it's a supplemental engine, but Poly's the best fusion spell to play in this deck because there's more Poly searchers in the game than there are any searchers for any other fusion spell that exists. And then we have 2 Resh, 1 Schism, and 1 Core. So like these are like your staples, your bread and butter. Now for the Shaddolls. And yes, Core is amazing in its own deck. It's just super good. I've also gotten a lot of hate for playing this. Like, people really give me a hard time just for being who I am. Just for playing my deck the way I play it. And for winning. Like, that match that I told you guys about where people were saying I was a bad Shaddol player. I was in the finals, bruh. I would literally beat everybody. It's single elimination. If you lose, you're out. I literally beat everybody I played till I got to the finals. But I'm bad. I was like, you guys are crazy. Y'all are brainwashed. Y'all are crazy. The DV Grinder, literally, this is what he said. He was like, yeah, he really is bad. He didn't even use Resh to, he said he didn't use Resh to flip summon the Squamata to pop the Prank Kid. I literally replied to the comment. I said, I activated Resh that turn. That's how it got in the graveyard in the first place. Read the card, bro, before you judge me. Like, I was like, bro, I lost so much respect for so many people, including him that day. I was like, y'all crazy. So, continuing with the list, we have 3 Mathematicians. Any Shaddol you want it to be, the utility that this card has, you guys know. Hands down, bar none, this is, like, in my opinion, the best normal summon you could play in pure Shaddolls. Bar none, hands down. Most utility. It adds to the plethora. There's so many tricks up your sleeve. It adds to the plethora of just toolbox capabilities that this deck already has. We have 3 Rindy, 3 Squamata, best Shaddolls to fuse with. We have 3 Hedgehog. And I'm actually cutting down to play 2 Aerial to make room for the Genius. Otherwise, this would be 3 Aerials. Aerial, you guys know, this is my bread and butter. This is a big part of my recursion. I actually set up loops with Falco, Aerial, Core, and Opcolone. So what happens is, and also with, you guys know I play Hound, bro. Like, you guys know I play Hound on Hound. So what happens is, my list can actually recycle my entire extra deck, and the cards that recycle my extra deck can be recycled. So here's what happens. You're going to go Windy into Falco, Falco into Aerial, Aerial into Opcolone, and then Opcolone can literally add another copy of itself or a construct back to your extra deck, and then you don't discard because nothing got added to your hand. So you chunk block and you recycle your resources to keep fusion summoning. Don't forget, Aerial is an engine in itself. Once you've got your Banish Zone set up, Aerial becomes like Windy. You can use this to summon your Banished Construct. I will literally banish my constructs with Schism and then summon another construct just to send Windy and summon Aerial, just so I can flip Aerial and summon that construct that I banished off my Schism to summon the construct in the first place. And it's just nasty. I played Double Dragon. It does come up. Yes, you can recycle it with Opcolone to play 1, but the reality of it is whenever I recycle with Opcolone, I'm normally going to put stuff back in my extra deck, because as long as I can fusion summon, I can keep playing. But Shaddolls can't do much with no fusion monsters to make. I mean, at that point, you're playing a flip summon deck. You're playing Subterrors. Shaddol Beast, just 1. I cut down on a lot of stuff. Hound is goated. I remember this was a big thing when Infernobles were popular. They would summon Gearfried, and it would literally clap your cheeks normally, but not me. I would go El Shaddol Fusion, send Squamata, send, Hound, change the Gearfried to defense, so now he can't attack, and he can't take my window. People actually copy that comment. I've seen in other videos people repeating the exact sentence I said, and I knew they saw my list, bro. So Hound, absolutely phenomenal card. You can add any Shaddol card from your grave to your hand, and also he can change battle positions, and believe it or not, that's a darn good effect. That gives you another effect in your toolbox that you didn't have. So don't sleep on Hound. And we know Falco is incredible. This is one of my favorite Shaddolls. He's just like Aerial. He's anything you want him to be. Genius is a great addition as well. Card is insane, honestly. Going second with this deck, just beautiful, pure beauty. And then Foolish, whatever you need it to be. Something that I did forget to put in, I'm actually supposed to have this in. Like, no cap. This is absolutely supposed to be in. When I was putting my list together, this is an in real life list that I actually moved from. Like, basically, I just copied my in real life list and put it online. Is Golden Lord. I do play Golden Lord in real life, and when I made this list online, basically literally transferring my IRL list to online, I forgot to put my Golden Lord back in there. But I do play Golden Lord 1000%. I've been telling you guys this card is way better than Trick Clown. Card's insane. It's literally like, it just adds just that extra oomph to your grind game, your recovery, your spot removal, and your offensive capabilities. So yeah, the Lunalight package, just bar none, just incredible. And you really don't need more than one Black Sheep with the Tinkies that you have, because once you resolve it and you fusion summon once, like, that's the thing, once you fusion summon once, you really don't need any more fusion spells, because what I'll even do is I'll just use Construct to send like an L and just add it so I can have a Shaddol spell or trap that fusion summons that I can just keep working with for my resource maintenance. And then Felice talked about that. We talked about Perfume. Edge Imp Chain is the best target for Patchwork, because Patchwork is a self-replacing +1. You get Patchwork and a Poly. You Poly, you make your Winda at the end of your combo, and then this searches another copy of this, so that's your follow-up for next turn. So really, really cool engine. And then Golden Lord, that was a really big brain fart. I covered everything, and that was the one detail I forgot. I was to put my Golden Lord in here. I do play Golden Lord. It's the best light to send off Shaddol Fusion, 1000%. The extra deck is 2 Op Cologne. You don't need more than 2. You actually do not send this thing off of any Dogmatica cards. So you're not sending it, you're just summoning it. You play 2 just in case, and it does come up quite a bit, and you're just going to be grinding a lot. Like, this is a huge part of your grind game, is Op Cologne to recycle your extra deck, and then you don't discard because the card wasn't added to your hand. That is a true ruling. And then we have 3 Construct. She's the best, she's the best, she's the best. And then Winda. Winda does win games, but this is not a Winda deck, and no, we're not brain dead monkeys that literally think that the only thing we can do is summon Winda. Dude, I've played, like, you guys, this is how, like, I know, like, a good Shaddol player from a bad one. Like, I've played against some decks, like, even Prinkids, where Construct is better than Winda. People be like, nah, they special something, like, you be like, okay, like, hear me out. What if they have a Dark Ruler, right? Like, Dark Ruler is super popular at that time. Hear me out. You play against Prinkids, if you summon Constructs in Aerial and you banish their 3 Prinkid names, what is Doodle adding? What is Bow Wow adding? How are they fusion summoning on your turn? Explain that. You play against Drytrons, if you have access to Schism and L, sure, you'll summon Winda, but the thing is, you can let them commit, you can let them extend a bit, so that way you can summon Construct, give them the illusion that they're actually going to play Yu-Gi-Oh!, send one of their lights to the grave, dump Aerial, banish their Drytron names to kill their grind game, and then Winda them just for their troubles. Those are just some really cool things you can do. Construct against Eldritch. There's just so many decks that Construct and Opalone are actually better against. And in the Shaddol mirror match, which isn't as prevalent as it used to be, Winda just doesn't really do anything. It just really doesn't. Like, these are your bread and butter. Then I play Maiden just for light access, so that your hands where you have Dark Shaddols can still make Construct because of her. She single-handedly really did change and up the consistency of Shaddols by a lot. Just her existence. So if I draw a hand with like Tinky, Polly, not Tinky, Polly. If I draw a hand with Tinky and like a Hedgehog and a Squamata, that's full combo, bruh. That's full combo because of her. We have Gravity Controller, Utility, you need it. Construct, you make this a lot in your main combo. I actually set this up with the Cross Sheep and get my Schism and my L access. I like to just set myself up for future plays. So what I do when I play Shaddolls is I dump the spells and traps I need and add them from my grave to my hand. That helps to circumvent Droll, and it allows me to have a complete setup to do whatever I want on my opponent's turn. And now everything I do at that point is just, it's just literally like almost adding insult to injury, because once you have that setup, you can OTK your opponent whenever you feel like it. And this card comes out the grave every turn, and it's another extender for fusion plays. Verde, this is for like when you've baited out Dragoons and other negates and you want to break the board. You Verde send Super Poly and you fuse off one of the, like the Dragoon especially, into your Winda, or fuse off whatever threatens you, you know. Also in the mirror match, very broken. Verde, just it gives you that extra going second so that your Shaddol fusion can out the Dragoon after you baited it. And then we have Cross Sheep, especially when you don't have the resources to make Boral Sword, you're going to need it. Cross Sheep, bread and butter, I go over this card all the time, like it's just so good. Appaloosa, so on my, I'm actually going to combo, because most of the time, you guys should know this about me by now, this is not like a combo deck per se, and it's not a mid-range deck per se. Shaddolls can be played, and they're painted in so many different colors, they can be played in whatever you want them to. The way I play my Shaddolls is mid-range. So it's this, I can combo if I want to, but I don't do it. So I could really do it, but if I wanted to, but I only really do it if it's necessary. So if it's not necessary, I'm the type of Yu-Gi-Oh player where I'm not going to do something just because I can. A lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players do that, and it does kind of grind my gears. They're literally activating cards just to activate them, and it makes zero sense. Like, if there's no logic or method, why are you even doing it? So a lot of the times, my boards don't even look scary. I just have Cross Sheep and a couple back rows. And they'd be like, you're not winning any games with that. And I literally clap everything in existence. But on my, I know I'm going to need it kind of matchups, I end on Appaloosa, Dweller with Schism. And if I got lucky with my hand, I can have El Shaddol Fusion too. Which is going to be nasty. So, like, you'll have Appaloosa, Dweller for negations and covering, like, a lot of grounds. And then your Schism and your El Shaddol Fusion. A lot of times, you have to pick one or the other. So, like, when you do that combo, sometimes you just don't have enough resources for L to actually fusion summon into anything because you don't have enough names. So you have no choice to go for Schism, but at least you have the Appaloosa and the Dweller to kind of back you up. So it's a really strong board. The Dweller will gain the attack boost because it has aerial as a material, so really good. And then Boral Sword is the link of choice for closing games. If I was not such a huge advocate on, like, Verde or the Shaddol link, you could easily play Selene and Access Code, because you can actually go Cross Sheep, bring back a Spellcaster, Selene, bring this back, go into Access Code, make Chainlink 1 Op Cologne, Chainlink 2 Access Code, so they literally cannot respond to Jack Squat, and then, you know, just get a free plus on your way to Access Code OTK. So there's multiple ways you can do it. Trust me, I've dang near tried it all, so there's no right or wrong way. It's just whatever fits your playstyle, whatever your preferences, and whatever you have fun with at the end of the day. That's really what you should take away from this video. Have fun with this deck because it's a really fun deck. You can be so creative with how you play it. I have tons of Shaddol variants and they all work almost equally as good as each other. So just do what you want with it. Just get your ideas. If anything, these engines that I'm trying out, try these for yourself. If you're like a budget player that can't afford the Dogmatic or Invoke cards, dude, your pure Shaddolls will do just as good, I promise you. And don't forget, like, dude, I was beating the Invoke Shaddol players with my little budget list I had. So it all comes down to how you pilot it. Don't forget that. The value of the player is going to be way more important. Or I should say, the competence of a player is more valuable than the actual deck itself, even if the ceiling is high. Because you can pilot a super OP deck poorly and get clapped by appliancers. You know what I mean? Like, it does come down to how you play it. So with that said, that's going to end the video. God bless you guys. Make good choices. Don't hurt your brain cells. Stay tuned for future content. And deuces is wild. Peace.